Hi there, and welcome back. I'm here. We're doing a little bit of book talk with Tony, just writing some of our story for Nanabozo and Wolf and his brothers. Kind of coming in here at the first draft as we're just trying to run through the first. What do we have? Like 3 pages so far? Yeah, we're at the very beginning of our existence. All right, Tony. What do you think? What do you think we should start with today? Sweet. All right. Do you have any suggestions about the stuff that we've written already? Let me guess, it's the dialogue. She speaks like a Willy Wonka character. That is not what I was expecting to hear. Okay. I remember you mentioning it, but yeah. Okay. Well, let's go over that, I guess, because let's see. Where does Grandma come in? Um. Sorry, I'm just having a hard time finding it. Start pushing on it. All right. Pushing the door open. Ayana, old woman with markings of age well ingrained in her face and wrinkled hands. She was wrapped up tightly in her skins. By her side hung 2 large rabbit skin bags limply against her hip. Her deep brown eyes and her long black hair framing her copper skin. Earrings of red and blue beadwork hung from her long earlobes, tucked into the hood of her jacket. "Oh, don't jump out at me like that, Nana," Ayana exclaimed. Ayana stops in the doorway, seeing the 4 boys fully dressed with materials spread along the inside of the wigwam. "What are you Ayana began. "Grandmother, come in. You will let all the cold inside." Wolf beckoned with a warm and relaxed smile. The other 3 boys held an expression of apprehension, worry, and determination. Ayana shuffled in, kicking the snow off her boots before crossing the threshold. Nanabozo pulled the door closed tight again, sealing the sapping cold outside once again. I don't like that double again. Bop. Close tight, sealing the sapping from the outside once again. Flint tossed a few more logs on the fire pit, and Wabozo moved a stack of arrows he had placed on Grandmother's chair. The room was quiet and expectant. All right, Grandmother, have a seat. That have is fine. Have a seat, get warm. How was the trip to Taylock's, and how is her family doing? Taylock is sick. Her voice is raspy and dry like like a snake's rattle. I think that's descriptive. Okay. Okay. I kind of see what you're saying here with the Ayana held up a staying hand. There's a large storm coming from the north. The weather is just a lie from the undergods to trick the fools before a large storm comes. Plus, Maka just went missing while hunting in the north, the same woods you now asked to tread. I think the weather is a lie is my way of doing the calm before the storm. You know, without using the cliche of, oh, it's the calm before the storm. I think I was just trying to be imaginative with that. Yeah. And the sneaking the undergods in right here, I was using as a trick to leave as a hook for later, basically. Because Ayana is the one who knows about some of this stuff, right? Yeah. Plus, I don't really want her to be talking as modern as the boys. I feel like there should be a dialect difference between like the oldest and the youngest because that's just how people work. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and feel free to change it. I don't mind as long as you keep the same like ideas playing in there. Once again, I think that's the main benefit we have with each other is that we can be like, all right, I'm not good at the words for communication, and you're not as fluent in the descriptors as I am. Okay. Um. Yeah. No. Absolutely. I would absolutely have people just talk like this. There it is. All right. I'm gonna highlight it blue so that we know to come back and change it if we need to. Where's another one that you thought was offensive or like not cohesive? No, I think I like protect you better. What do you like about a creator protect you all? Is that too mystical too? Because I want to have some type of religious like ceremony stuff that people say, like God bless you. Like that's just a normal thing. I like it. I think that I mean, I know we've been kind of hammering they don't have food for the last 2 pages, basically. But it's almost like the stomach is the final vote, right? Like, she can argue as much as she wants. She can be like, no, it's not safe. No, you can't do it. No, we have, the other people went missing, stuff like that. But really, the last argument is they're hungry. They need food and they can't get it from other people, like in the tribe. She came back earlier and she was like, I was over at these other people and they shared 4 slices of elk jerky. And I think that was too much for them to share, type of thing. Like, we're allowed to have slapstick. That's fine. Some slapstick is 100% fine, right? Like if it's like a continual pattern, then it becomes too much. But it doesn't have to be a mighty rumble. We could take mighty out. Yeah. Give me your. Do you have any suggestion that would replace it? Like something that would be an event that would like tip the edge in their favor. All right. You know what? Easily both. You also did spill your food before we started. So you could be in a little bit more of a mood than you normally are. Ha- have you eaten? You might wanna put a little sustenance in your body. That might change your mood a little bit. All right, be safe, be vigilant, and be kind to all you meet. Um, What do you mean? Yeah. Well, they're going out on the hunt now, right? Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I think. Let me grab from Wolf. Let's go down to the edited area. I was gonna grab the stuff we had written before. And put that in there and then continue from where we left off. Oh, yeah, I guess we should really talk about that now. Um I do kind of like the idea of maybe him just being gone for a day or two and then coming back. I think that him being picked up by, so we do want there to be a presence of another tribe close to them, right? The Mohawk or one of the other Iroquois tribes, right? So I think maybe having him be with like one of them, like he stumbles upon their camp in the middle of this blizzard or something like that, and then that the Skinwalker is with them, or they have Maka type of thing, and Maka's like with the Mohawk. I think that could be a really cool chapter of like him talking and communicating with these other people, and then coming back after a day after the big snowstorm stops. Right. Ooh, what if, like, I really like what you're saying, how he comes across a camp that's like empty or very near empty, right? Like maybe only has one or two people in it. What if they have the fire and they have a big pot of like really meaty stew, like hearty meaty stew, and they invite him in and feed him and talk to him and stuff like that. But we mentioned that the skinwalker would be going around to these starving villages, right, and feeding them, but it's not just like normal meat, right? It's people meat for the cannibalism, for the Wendigo. Flint. Why is Wabozo at this enemy camp? I thought it was Flint. We've been talking about Flint this whole time. No? Oh. Oh, everything I just said was for Flint. Oh, I thought we were talking about what was Flint doing while he goes missing. Okay. Okay. Yes, if Wabozo saw enemies, he would fight them. You're right. That's just something he would do. That's solid. Yeah, okay. 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 Let me think that over for a minute. So yeah, no, that makes sense. It's a good place to stop and reconvene. Wabozo coming across a camp. Yes, if Wabozo comes across the camp should be deserted. And him looking around, stuff like that, kind of like finding the remnants of people who were there. One of the best ways to show how they kind of just left would be to have food still cooking, right? To have like a full pot of stew or something like that. Oh, you should have definitely taken this. Would Wabozo then bring that stew back to the village? Because if I was Wabozo, I probably would. Yeah. So, okay, big question then. What is Flint doing? Because I know Flint disappears for 2 days, right? That's our idea. Your idea that Flint kind of disappears with the Skinwalker for a while. What is keeping him away from the family? Is it just the snow is blocking him? Okay. Um, if Flint is gone for more than a day, we need to have a POV of Flint and what he's doing. We might not need to have it so that it's included in the book, but I think it would be good to have at least so that we know what was said and what type of interaction Flint was having. If he's only gone for a couple hours, we could just do it as a recap from Flint for like what happened at the house. In my mind, I'm kind of seeing it this way, right? Where we see Nanabozo tracking, trying to find Flint, eventually sees him in the woods. The rumble knocks him over. Or I like the idea of the Skinwalker doing something that blocks Nanabozo from like making it that last bit. Either the snow drift increases or there's some type of flurry that happens that obscures where Flint and the Skinwalker are. And then the Skinwalker goes like brings him in for protection. In my head, the Skinwalker right now is Maka, the one who went disappeared a couple days ago. We don't have to keep that. That's just something that's been in my head for a second. And I think Maka might be, she could have been taken by the Mohawk party, right? The camp that was being set up. I think she might have been taken by one of them. And then that's how she gets that's how it gets infected into the camp, right? Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, what if this, right? So Nanabozo and Wabozo, they go home, right? The next day, Wabozo's like, I know I saw a camp. I know I saw it. Maybe he wasn't able to get close enough, or he saw a fire. Um, or maybe he did explore it. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. We're running through a lot of ideas here. I like the idea that Nanabozo and Wabozo go back out and they find Flint and Maka, right? The Skinwalker, and bring both of them back. Like Flint doesn't show up on his own. He doesn't reappear by himself. I think it might be a good idea to have it so that they're at this camp, they're being protected, they're surviving the cold, and Wabozo and Nanabozo are like, they gather the warrior like people, and they're like, no, we saw a tribe, we saw people. Nanabozo's like, I think I heard lots of voices or something like that, and they take a party out and they go rescue Flint and Maka, right, from their perspective. What do you think about that? because then that would start the long-term issue of the Mohawk and the Ojibwe way back in chapter 1, where that conflict blooms in book 2, basically. Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. So in that case, right, since we have Maka missing right now, at what point would we bring her back in? Is she just gonna stumble back into camp one day and like have a story of being like, oh, I was trapped in a cave and I survived off of like, I don't know, lichen and weasels or whatever? Or is she gonna be like, I was taken? Like her whole thing is deception, right? Like the Skinwalker's whole thing is lying and manipulating people's perception to their ends. What if we do have her come back, probably in like a chapter or two, so like maybe chapter 3, where she comes back and says that she escaped from the Mohawk or escaped from another tribe, and being like, I got back. I was able to cut my bindings loose and I was able to make my way home, type of thing. So she's like welcome back as a hero, and then there's she's spreading information that is detrimental, basically. Once again, that'll put an emphasis on her, but I do think if we're gonna have her and have her in the tribe, there's gonna have to be some way that she comes back, right? All right, let me look at our first annotation of Maka in the character list. Maka, the skilled hunter. Maka is a skilled hunter with the Potawatomi tribe, possessing an innate knowledge of the land, its inhabitants, and the art of tracking. Their keen senses and exceptional hunting ability contribute to the tribe's sustenance and survival. Maka's experience is not only valued for providing food, but also for teaching younger members of the tribe the skills necessary for successful hunting. So that's our very first like 2-sentence, 3-sentence like introduction for her. We had her originally as a Potawatomi. How old should Maka be? I guess we should ask. I had him around like 15, 16. Yeah. I was thinking she could be a little older than the boys, like 20. Because we want her to be established. We want her to be like a known hunter. And one of her jobs is, at least what we have, is teaching the young like how to do a successful hunt. And from my experience being a teenage boy, having a slightly older girl interested in you, you're going to do a lot of things just to maintain that, right? Well, that's what writing a book's all about. We find the new things and then we expand on them. Yeah. In the same area, basically, yeah. On top of each other. Ooh, that would actually make sense because Wolf is the only one away. Yeah, because all three of the other brothers are basically in the same area. Because Nanabozo runs back into Wabozo when he's coming back, right? So you're saying Flint is already in love with Maka? Okay. I think he likes her for sure. Like he wants to like her or like do something like that. But I don't think he loves her yet. I think she uses his base like of her to foster that type of obsessive love. The like he likes her like what a freshman high schooler would like a senior high schooler, right? Kind of a pining way, not necessarily like, oh, it's Maka. I gotta go over there immediately. More along the line of, oh yeah, I like Maka. Maybe I didn't make a clear distinction that way. I do like the idea that he likes her already. Yes. Yeah, no, I started saying the same thing twice and I realized I might be mistaken. The longhouse housed 4 families at a time. Um. Tatontaka. So right now I'm talking about a person who is the like one of the head warriors, basically, kind of standing outside of the four longhouses. What activity should he be doing? Would he be maintaining any of like the paths around the longhouses, or would he be training? Or I want them outside so that Wolf can easily like hand sign to him as they're passing. Um Um, would there be some type of physical activity that would need to be taken care of around the longhouses? Ooh, like maybe moving like large stacks of firewood or something like that. The book. Just the next step. They're just starting to head out now, so they're about to go do the hand speech with the head warrior, telling them what direction they're going. I don't know if I'm being. All right. Delete. Cool. I like that. I think that flows together well. By the other wigwams and waving to the villagers they knew. This, I think, needs to be corrected somehow. Are you in the chapter 1 wolf document? All right, now we can go through and see what we need to fix here to make it fit together a little better. Saw the Great. I don't like saw. Let's do like. Ooh, I don't like that anymore. Not since they were already warned by their grandmother. So that should be changed. Here, I'll highlight this whole area. Can you see my highlight? disappeared. Oh, I see where you're at. You're still up at the stomach growled. I'm down here now. Oh, yeah. I think this blue sentence up here needs to be fixed. This communication. Because their grandmother already said that the storm is coming. So I don't know if we need that repeated. I think the warrior should still tell them, right? I just don't know if Wolf needs to be saying, Boda indicated that there is a storm coming from the north. There's no time to waste. I think they already know that. You really liked it when the grandma was telling them. You were a big fan of that. You argued for it. Yeah, I argued against it, and you're like, no, the grandmother should be the one. Yeah. I don't remember. I liked it. I mean, I changed it to make it fit. It sounds good. And I... Go ahead. This is the stuff I had already written. Remember when we had started before? Yeah, so I knew what point we were going to get to where I could throw this stuff back in. The beginning part had changed, but them going out doesn't need to change. A lot of this is still... Yeah, a lot of this stuff is still good, I think. I know you had some issues with some of the dialogue in here, so feel free to highlight and we can change and we can talk about the changes if we need to. Anything you'd think would be improved with a little bit better dialogue. Wow, you sound so awake. How is your work going? Still going good? Is the training difficult or is it as you expected? Good. You're going to be doing stuff. Ooh, let me show you. Check this out. Oh, how? Focus. Yeah, it's like a whole mouse pad. It's a whole thing with like shoulder, rest, and it's got a coaster and everything. Got it off Amazon for like $30. And I was like, that's a good deal. Yeah, I figured I needed some, because as I was playing Helldivers, my wrist was like broken, and I was like, that's not sustainable long term, so I needed something. Not great, actually. We haven't played either Katie's for like 2 months now, maybe almost 3 months since her dad died, which is, you know, reasonable. And then Josh's has been pretty stutter start because he has to go away for the army because he's a National Guard. So we keep like starting it, and then we haven't played his for like almost 4 weeks now. So that's unfortunate. good. It's fine. I think Steven annoys me as a role player. I love him as a person, but he does crosstalk a ton, and he tosses in like inappropriate jokes every once in a while, and I'm like, but he's fine. Plus, we're playing 1970s cops, so some of those jokes go a little farther than I like, anyways. Yeah, we're doing an Eldritch horror, like Lovecraftian thing where we're cops in Wyoming in a mountain town. So it's kind of it's a lot of fun. It's not a D&D system. It's a bastardized system between Call of Cthulhu, a fate system, and a point buy system. So it's like you have 26 points between all of your like attributes, skills, and abilities, and then it's like you have to point buy to get your skills up to the where you want them to be, and then whatever pointage you bring them up to is how many d6s you roll for a roll of that type. If you have 0 in that, you roll 2 d6s and take the lower one. But the goal is a 6 is a success. All you need is 1 6 and it's a success. A 4 and a 5 is partial successes. So that's either something happens that is beneficial to you, but not as beneficial as it could be, or you get everything you want, but there's a consequence type of thing. So there's a lot of like adjustability to it, but I'm not super comfortable with the system yet. So I'm still learning the ins and outs of it, but it seems pretty interesting so far. I like it, yeah. All right, I'm thinking most of this sounds good to me. Might want to finish up from here and get them back to the house then. Are you seeing any, like, issues that I need to fix or that we can fix together in dialogue or in any of the pacing of the descriptors? Oh, okay. Makes sense. I'm going to finish reading mine over again, and then I'll pop over to yours and we can talk about it, if you would desire. Oh, you highlighted all of it. $4,000 words, that's almost a tenth, right? Because it's 100,000 words is like a normal book length. Hey, 1/20th at a time. Standing up, Nanabozo grabbed Flint, lifting him up. Stop being so distracted and actually do something manly for once. I like that. I just highlighted where I'm at. I do like the lifts his bow and fire. Flint calls out, "Wait up!" Like an arrow, the deer sprinted off. Yeah. Ooh, this needs to be changed. Maybe that can be changed to needed to set up camp soon or something like that. Highlight where you're talking about so I can see. Okay. Okay. This is where they've already been hiking for hours, right? Snow began to fall heavier and quicker. They knew they needed to return home soon. Ooh, began to fall. In, What do you like about that? The snow began to fall in thick, wet flakes. It's not heavier and quicker, but it is showing like the intensity is increasing, but it's like a slighter increase. Coming home. Yeah, they've been walking for a while here. I heard you. I'm just processing for a second. I would say if I was looking for my brother and I knew a blizzard was coming in, I would probably at least go out for an hour, right? Minimum. being like, all right, let's see if I can find them. I can pretty much track my way back within an hour of going out and coming back. I think for maybe them, they might have a little bit more of a leeway on it than I would. So yeah, what you were saying, an hour and a half, 2 hours max would probably be as far out as I would be willing to go out into a storm. Yeah. Right, but they haven't even returned home yet, right? Here they haven't. Yeah, they just left. This is. Ooh, you know what needs to be added in here? Them checking snares, because we made a big deal about that in the wigwam. So we definitely need to add at least a chapter, not a chapter, a paragraph or 3 about them checking snares and making sure that they're good. And I know that you really don't like the deer spirit will be furious with us now. We can get rid of it. Instead of getting rid of it, can you change it to make it so that it's better? Because I do want something about the deer being mad, or about how they're dishonoring the deer, or how like doing a dirty shot is a disservice to the deer, or like disrespectful to the animal itself. Something. I think that's important. I don't want to do it. I think it'd be better if you did it. It's the heavy red highlighted one right here. Oops. I like that. Ooh. So we have a few of these where they're like, return home. Go ahead. You can keep going. I just highlighted something. We'll run to that next. Okay. Whatever you think fits best, bud. I like the kill it or don't shoot angle more than the luck angle. I think I would like the luck angle more if there was some type of thing tied to it. You know what I mean? And death and hunting is such an important part of life. They took it extremely seriously about wounding an animal and not following up on it, right? That was a big deal. I'm on the last paragraph here, finishing up the reread. All right, I just finished. Looks like there's 2 more instances of we need to return home or we need to get home. Are we having them return on this first night? Or are we having them camp out here, spending a night out here, and then trying to continue on for the next day? Because if they continue on for the next day, then we'll go through them checking their snares, right? They've almost finished a full pack full of roots, leaves, and now bark strips. Ooh, so right here I have it so that a massive gust of wind from the lake crashes into them, instantly stealing any warmth they had left. We could also make it so that there was the sound of rumbling and cracking, and they think it's thunder and lightning, right? Where they could think that, oh, this might not just be like a storm, this could be a full-on blizzard happening, and we can't stay out here. Grandma was right. And then the cracking and rumbling would give credence to when we hear cracking and rumbling from the water panther in your part. And then that could be they have an ominous feeling, a sense of dread that washes over them or something like that. And they're like, oh, we're not safe out here. We need to go home. Flint. Oh, okay. I think we might have a small misunderstanding about how that goes. I was under the impression that all 4 of them return home, and then Nanabozo makes fun of Flint enough that then Flint goes out and leaves, right? And disappears. And then they don't notice for a little bit, and then somebody, probably Wolf, goes, oh, where's Flint? And then everyone looks around the room for a second, and then they realize he's not there. And Ayana is like, you gotta go find your brother. He can't be far. Because I don't think they would return home without Flint next to them, right? Nanabozo probably would go, fuck it, whatever. But no, I actually don't think he would. I think he'd be like, of course I gotta go get him, asshole. Yeah, he would see it more of a burden than a leave him scenario. All right, I'm gonna start writing it like that. Actually, let's change these to, we need to set up camp. We need to set up camp. We need to get camp, before the storm gets worse. As the brothers hoisted their packs back on their backs, a quick question. So we're having this chest shaking rumble happen, right? We wanted Wolf. So we're having Flint be the one who's most affected. Which one of them is the least affected? From the Water Panther specifically. Nanabozo, okay. Ooh, I don't like that sentence at all. I'm just deleting that. Nanabozo spoke through the furs around his face. Nanabozo. Oh, can you check Nanabozo and Nanabozo spelling for me right now? Because I've been spelling it W-A-B-O-S-O. Nanabozo. Through the furs around his face. Z-H-O. Alright. I'll do a, Alt F4 find and replace later. Cut north to at least check the snares. I don't like that. Ugh. I'm not sure too much about rabbit snares. Let me do a quick Google, see what I can learn. All right, I think I got an idea then. You feeling all right, Tony? You're looking like you're getting dragged under. I'm doing good. I think I got a small rhythm going. Yeah, with my the area. So here's the thing with rabbit snares, right? You're not really supposed to leave them in a place where you can't check them like daily or every other day type of thing. So maybe this is an area where the tribe has trapped and now they're going to go pick up some of the tribe snares. That type of thing. Would that work? Does that make sense? Okay. At what part? When he first hears it, or in when you're part? That makes sense. Um, do, 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 do. How many rabbits should they find? I'm thinking 3, 4 max, right? Or should they find any? Okay. Yeah, I also agree it should be a very few amount. Let's do 2 so that they can give 1 to the family that gave them elk jerky, right? Or they find one and a half. They find one that's good, and they find one that had been eaten by a badger or something like that. Something had already gotten to it and eaten it. Like, all that's left is, like, part of the hind leg that was trapped in the, snare. Something like that. Because, like, a wolverine is still an absolute menace, regardless of whatever timeline you're in. I think them starting to starve is valid. I think them starting to starve, like, maybe not at this moment. Nanabozo's family is starting to starve, but I think they're on the lower tier of, like, the tribe, right? They're one grandma with 4 male children who aren't warriors yet. So, like, of the tribal dynamics, they're not high. So they might not be having all of the resources shared with them, like the chief and his family is having most of the resources. And like the head warriors and the medicine womans and the storytellers, like the people who are bringing active like components to the tribe are probably receiving more support than Nanabozo and his brothers. I feel like currently they're seen as a small burden to the tribe because they've been just children. Oh yeah. Okay, that's fair. In my head I was imagining like Naruto, where like he's just a snot-nosed kid and everyone kind of like treats him as like the orphan kid over there because they don't have a dad, their mom died in childbirth, and now it's just a grandma taking care of him. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay. That's fine. Well, in that case, then I do think they should all be starting to starve then. I feel, yeah, I feel like being tight on food isn't usually enough to go kill people over it. Having no food is where you start killing people. Or, sorry, you're about to say something. Go ahead. I'll let you talk for a second. Mm-hmm. The chief is looking around like, holy shit, like we're out. Well, I feel like once they take on the Menomini, they're not starving. Because the Menomini have a surplus right now. The Menomini aren't starving at all. They're doing perfectly fine. They have the Kushtaka who are fishing and doing all that stuff. They have plenty of food. They're not sharing with the Ojibwe, though. Yeah, they grab all their stuff. They say, this resources are mine. I guess we need more resources, and looks around. Like, I don't think they're going to do that immediately. But when the Mohawks start poking at them, I think they might just go, fine, all right, let's do it, type of thing. Oh no, we were trying to be a fishing tribe, but here I go killing again. All right, who should be the one who finds the first rabbit? Should that be Nanabozo? Okay. How much does a rabbit weigh? £5 to £8. Yeah, nice. Oh, now I'm getting tired. Goodness. You like Bagheera just hanging out here? Just being a little chair cat. You should get a cat. I think you'd like one. You seem like you'd be a good cat dad. That's fair. Yeah. They like to have friends. They also like to beat the shit out of their friends, but you know. Coda's always picking on Bagheera. Paul nonetheless. You want me to jump over to your stuff now? I will. All right. Shared with me. Chapter 1. All right, I'm here. All right. I followed back on our original trail. It wasn't long before I could barely see where I was going. All right, so this is after they got home and then Flint left, or this is on their way home? Because I'm still not 100% sure about that difference. The fire, yeah. So they've came home, then Flint left, and then the boys went back out. Got it. The music I'm listening to just got really creepy as I'm reading Wabozo's story, and it is fitting really well. I like this, and they brought plenty to fight with. Okay, I finally finished. I like it a lot. I did add a little fluff here. Right here. Just a small sentence. I think it adds a decent amount to it. Because he seems like a physical thinker, you know what I mean? Like when he's remembering something, he like remembers it. Yeah. He hesitated when he got to the point about seeing Flint, then went ahead and told the truth. You saw him, Wabozo growled. Grandmother put her hand on, put her hand and him. Oh yeah, my apologies. Oh, on him. That must have been my bad. Be calm now. She looked at Nanabozo to continue. Nanabozo spoke. I'm sorry. I lost him. I wanted to follow him. He was just gone. Nanabozo hung his head. See, I read it right. I like this. I like this a lot. Honestly, I don't think this needs too much. It does need paragraph breaks. We are writing a book right now. Isn't it weird to be writing a book? Like, we're making progress. Like, everything up to now was progress, but it didn't feel like it. We're not patient. We just couldn't figure out how to communicate to each other without doing that. Like, I think we both had sets of ideas, and both of our ideas have drastically changed because we've been melding these ideas together. That's the whole point of the book, is to be going like, we're going back and forth, and then we're like, all right, this character's up to something. What is he doing? And then we bounce it back and forth a couple times and we get there. Oh, like hosts, basically, people who like maintain the city and stuff like that. That makes sense. Are they a ruling class or are they a maintenance class? No, I like it. Mmm. That's cool. You could basically tell who people were based on the craftsmanship that they were wearing. That's neat. I did not know that. That's cool. Oh, I did red and blue bead just as a descriptor for Ayana. Is that normal or fine? Well, I was just trying to put a like an identifier on her, so we could change that, but good. Yeah, honestly, everybody I've even told about like the concept that we're writing, like Percy Jackson with Native American or Native American mythology, all that stuff, everybody's been like, oh, what's that? How are you doing this? Who are you talking to? That's so cool. What's it about? Who's Nanabozo? Like, I've never heard of this person. At least one book. You're a huge fan of Ayash, so we'll definitely add him in somewhere in the book. Yes. History should come from old people. Most often in the forms of story. So I know that an important job in the communities were the story keepers, the time trackers, right? We could easily have it so that Grandma is one of the storytellers, right? We could have her tell the story of Ayash as a warning or as a information for the boys. Do it like that. We could also have it so that when they go through their different like dream sequences, because we're gonna have more than one of those. We're gonna have quite a few of those, I think. That they what's it called? Learn the histories that way. Yeah, see, Tony, you already have 7 pages. I'm up to... Oh, wait. That's mine. You're already at 4 pages. I'm at 7 pages. That's basically 10 pages. All we need is... What, 400 pages? So we're pretty good. We're almost done. Honestly, there's no set time for a chapter, right? Them getting home, like once they reach home, could be a chapter, and then them going back out and getting Flint coming back, that could be a chapter. Because some chapters are going to be longer than others. Some chapters are going to be shorter. Yeah, that's in one of the first paragraphs. I try to be. Have you shown anybody the writing yet? I haven't. That's a good place, because we still have another, I would say, 6 pages between where I'm at right now and where you started. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm at, I just started the 7th page of mine, and you're on the 4th page of yours. So, yeah. So that'd be about 15, 16 pages for a chapter. That seems reasonable. And there's usually about 27 to about 30 chapters in a book. We shouldn't worry too much about how big the chapters are. The chapters really could just be a single word. I mean, all it has to do is maintain an arc, some type of story arc. Ooh, that's weird. Do you see my lighting change when I move my hand like this? Whoa, that's so strange. I like this lighting better than that lighting. Huh. Boy, I think I was mid-sentence and I got completely distracted there. I don't even know what I was saying. We're doing good. Yeah, I would like to. I'm starting to get a little booked out, which is strange. You know what I mean? Because, like, on the weekends, I want to maintain my weekend life with my friends and family and stuff like that. And then Monday, I got a D&D game, unfortunately, right when you're getting off of work. So that's a little unfortunate. And then I set up a streaming schedule that I plan on keeping for at least a couple months in a row. See if that does anything. Yeah. We'll figure it out. I like the podcast idea. I also feel like this is kind of podcasty. It's not great for like Spotify or anything like that. It doesn't have like a storyline or a set topic thing other than just the book. Yeah, no, that's fair. We're just tip-tapping away. I tip all the time. All right. Poor hole, but a hole nonetheless. Sorry, I was going back to my writing. I was going to continue where I left off. Actually, I'm going to do the same. All right, enjoy music for anyone who listens to this, and to the cat that sits here. All right, let's get back into it. Let's see, what should happen here? I'm doing a thing where they're like marching through the onslaught of the snow. And I don't know if there should be something exciting that happens here, or if I should just fast cut it and be like, and they got home. They had just found the rabbits. Skin hung loose like it had been torn away. In a total, the brothers found 3.5 rabbits out of the 90 snares they set. A poor haul, but a haul nonetheless. The snow increased in intensity over the last hour, making it through the pass in this bliss. Huh. Making it through the pass in the... Oh, bluff. And beginning to head south towards home. The mood was suppressed. They wanted to go out for a few days and really get some hunting in. And after seeing the deer, they knew game was around. But the dark gray of the clouds and the rumbling over the lake had spooked the boys enough that they knew returning home was the smart decision. Ooh, I like that a lot. Sour, S-O-U-R-E? U-R-E-D. Sure. So fucking English is so dumb. Marching I mean, 1,000 people try to start their own channel on YouTube. Oh, no, I haven't. I'm assuming it didn't go well. Oh, wow. For a YouTube show? All right. And if you did have those type of funds, those funds would outstrip the amount of money you'll make. Like, easily. So it really sounds like they're alienating their base and they're being like, what happened? And then start the trade of, oh, this is what we do now. Oh, we're leaving YouTube tomorrow. We're staying on YouTube. That did not work. Well, if they wanted a like separate area where people gave them money, why don't they just do Patreon or something? Ugh. I don't know who these people are, but I would go unsubscribe right now from them if I was subscribed to them. That's crazy. Yeah, and are they gonna have like daily episodes or something, or is it? Yeah, whatever. That seems stupid. Like game theory. Well, Matt Pat just left too. Honestly, I get it though. Like, he's been on there for like 10 years. He's done 100,000 things, and I think he just kind of looked around and he went, I'm good. I got it. I won. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not. That's the thing, though. I've watched his videos. He's not giving up like control over the shows or anything like that. Like, he's still like a head producer for all the stuff. He's just not gonna be in them, right? So like, he's still making money from all the episodes and the 4 different like channels he created. It's like a passive income for him. He spent a lot of work to get it set up, but now it's set up and it's cranking money out for him. Well, because his whole thing was, I analyzed the smallest things to show you the bigger picture. So that was his whole gig. Hey, do you want to write this next section for me? Because I don't know what Nanabozo and the boys should be saying here. This is a communication section, and I think I'm having a brain fart with it. And I was going to have Nanabozo start off the conversation. You could have it so that Wabozo and, like, Flint are talking to each other first, and then Nanabozo kicks in. Yeah. Oh, let's start with Wolf. Yeah, that's better. Here, I'm going to stop typing here for a second. I'll let you run with it. I think I have to give my cat a bath again. He's getting a little crusty again. Yeah, he's got a little skin issue where he gets crusty on the butt. Turns into a little chupacabra. And he's been very itchy lately, so I think it's about time. Yeah, no, Nanabozo's soured. Nanabozo's the one that found most of the rabbits. Flint did find one rabbit, but that rabbit was the one that was eaten in half and, like, already, like, stolen. So I feel like Nanabozo's blaming him for that too. Like, he's like, you can't even find a full fucking rabbit. Well, and that it's the short end of the stick, but, like, he still got food. Like, he still found a thing. And Nanabozo's just, like, mad at him. Like, you can't even find a full rabbit. You absolute fool. Yeah, no, they have 3.5 rabbits. Almost had a deer. Ooh, this could be the place where Flint finds or, like, notices the glade that held the 2 plants he was looking for Taylock. Let me see where those were. Yeah, I'm gonna find it in a second. It was Golden Seal and Evening Primrose. Yeah. They are plants. Fucking A. They're plants that grow in the Great Lakes region that was used by the Ojibwe and the Algonquin people for medicines, for sore throats, mucus buildup, other homeopathic stuff. Yep. I like this. The wolf could feel the foul mood his brothers were in. For Wolf especially, yeah. Where he's like, ooh, I'll help. Let's get everyone kind of talking on the same page. And, like, let's maybe they try to play a game. No, that feels weird. It's me. I'm that guy. Yeah. I know I know exactly what you mean. Where you're like, ooh, that was rough. He thought he could ease the mood by getting them talking. Nana. He shouldn't start with Nana. He should start with Wabozo. I feel like Wabozo and Wolf have usually a pretty easy back and forth, right? Like those two are usually not like super conflict at each other. So I think starting the conversation between him and Wabozo is an easy in. And then Wabozo probably starts talking to Flint. Yeah. They could talk about the cracking that happened over the lake, but that kind of put some dread in them. Maybe they shouldn't talk about that. Oh, is there... Go ahead. Ooh, I like that idea. I think that's cute. I was thinking maybe there's some type of celebration or like event that's going to happen that they could talk about. But I like the idea of bringing up Flint's little crush. Is it M-A-K-A-H? It's just M-A-K-A. Maka is some prey. I don't like the word pray there. Nanabozo laughed. Yeah, you and everyone else. So is everyone kind of interested in this Maka? She's a competent woman who does go out hunting and doing all that stuff. And she has a caring side because she's teaching some of the kids lessons. So I could easily see her being like a highly desired lady of the camp. Yeah. No, I get it. Like when you're a kid and you love your English teacher or something like that, and you're like, yeah. But he's 16, she's 20. It's not too crazy. Especially for this timeline. This time frame. Maybe somebody like Biscay or something like that would go for it, or one of the other head warriors, like one of the like real warriors. I like it. Yeah, you and everyone else. Yeah, you and half the tribe. I like that better. Maybe he can say something more along the lines of, you have a better chance of turning that half rabbit into a full rabbit with your horrible looks or something like that, or Uh, you have a better chance at turning snow into fire than you do with wooing. Ugh. Wooing Maka. Ooh. Yes. I think having some Paleolithic animals would be good. Ooh, you have a better chance of wrestling a cave bear than you do with landing Maka. Right? I like that one better. Yeah, you and half the tribe. What do you think about that? Yeah. And I think this is where Flint fights back here. Right? Say again? Ooh, I love that a lot. How would you even feed her? And, yeah. Looking back over Flint, that is if she even, that is if she is, ooh. That is if she is even still alive. Why does that sound so clunky? That is if she's still alive, yeah. That is if she's still alive. I like it. I think I didn't have the she's. I thought she is. I think it rolls better if it's just she's. All right, Tony. My brain is starting to shut down a little bit, I think. I think we've got a lot of writing done today. It is 8. We've been going for 2 hours and 50 minutes. So we've been almost a 3-hour session here. I'm not too opposed to this being a stopping point for now. Or do you want to just finish this conversation and then move on and call it good there? Or should we just stop here? Forcing it? All right, so that's 800. I was trying to see how many words I wrote today. No, that makes sense to me. That's another 300. All right, so I wrote around 1,500 words right there in the last couple minutes, in the last 3 hours. That's not too bad. Yeah, if both of us are doing 2,000 words a day, we'll crank this out. And I like the Flint disappearing for like a day more now. The longer I've had time to sit with it, the more it kind of makes sense to me. More than just like he's gone for 6 hours. I think he should have some dedicated time alone, and I don't think we should show it, right? I think that could be a flashback in the future to like what conversations they had. Or we just do a brief communication, like... So, Flint, is Flint finding Maka in the snow? Yeah, it's known that she's been missing for a few days, they said. Nuh-uh. Yeah. So big question, where does Maka go? Is Maka going to the east towards the Iroquois, or is she just going to be on like the outskirts? Or actually, we could send her over to the Potawatomi, because we were having the Skinwalker in that hunting group with the Potawatomi. And then that is who turns the tide on Nanabozo and the Fisher, right? Oh, I mentioned that earlier, and you looked like you were unhappy with that idea. Yeah, I mentioned that we could have Flint and Maka come back, and either both of them were with the camp, and you didn't like that idea, or that she had been kidnapped by like the Mohawk, and then that she escapes, but really she just used Skinwalker stuff, and then controls it that way. But you said that it would put too much of a target on her, and that it'd be too easy to guess that she's the Skinwalker. Oh, what could happen? No, I don't like that idea. My idea was that she comes back with extra people, like a small group of people, like, oh, we all escaped. And then that spreads out the ideas amongst like this group of like 5 to 6 people for like who it could be. But I didn't like it when I said it or when I thought of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boy, that's gonna be hard. Okay. Hey, Tony, you want to know something stupid? So this whole time we've been recording and streaming, my Discord record, like audio element, hasn't been picking you up. Or, yeah, it hasn't been picking you up at all. I think it's locked to my Helldivers Discord and not to you. So you're talking and no one's hearing shit. Like, no one's here. So it's not that big of a deal. But boy, I just realized this 3 hours in. Wow. Damn, man. Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Let's call it here, I guess. I like the idea of Maka coming back. I do think we should have her around for the majority. I'm not a big fan of her going to the Potawatomi. I think she would have more use by getting close to the chief and like getting into the Council of Three Fires and all that stuff. What do you think? Yeah. No, that's reasonable. And she's a major character, too. She's all of a sudden a very major character. Zawanji only. Yeah. I figured it was going to happen. It was too quick of a spread of information. Oh yeah, it's a service. Oh yeah. Well, and then the moment like any type of trade tariff and stuff like that is just used to hurt other people, right? And once you start doing that as a base level idea, you start ruining communication and cooperation. And our whole world is built on communication and cooperation.
$50 billion will stay in America, which is kind of weird.
Well, it's because a lot of it was to just send over old ammunition and equipment and stuff like that over to Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel, because it's all tied into each other. And the 50 billion that stays in America is the 50 billion that goes to BlackRock, Raytheon, Boeing, you know, the people who make all the weapons to re-bump our supply. So the money goes back into us to then give back to the Ukraine. Also, the other thing is we're not giving them anything. We're not. It's not free. We're lending them all this money. We're putting them in almost perpetual war debt at this point, with how much money we've given to them and the type of interest rates that they have. Ukraine will forever be beholden to us for how much money we've given to them.
Yeah, we're the big evil bank.
It's a cash trap. Yeah, if they live, they pretty much just will most likely toe America's line for probably the next 5 to 7 decades at almost a minimum. And Ukraine will have probably the largest military in the EU if they make it through this whole Russia debacle. And if they don't make it through the whole Russia debacle, we'll probably use the amount of money that they owed us as a debt token to wipe off part of our debt to some of the other EU countries. To be like, well, we gave all that money to Ukraine and Ukraine got killed, so we'll just take that debt quantity away from like France, Germany, Britain, UK, all that stuff, and just re-even the scales a little bit.
And then say, do something.
Yeah. And then more than likely, Iran and Israel are going at full war, and both of them are nuclear states.
That is the scariest one to me right now. Terrifying.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant thing, that's for sure.
Yeah. I hope they let us finish this book first before they go to war. I mean, that'd be nice.
Well, even if they do go to war, we can still finish the book. Like, as long as we have internet, we can write. Right?
True. I bet you America, like, I wonder, we probably feel a little bit of a squeeze, but I don't know, like, with how things are going, other people going to war, I don't know that we'd feel like, you know.
No, America's set, bud. Like, geographically, we're the best country on the planet. Export-wise, for food, we're the best country on the planet. Export-wise, for energy, we're now the best country on the planet. Export for military, by far the best country on the planet. You know, human rights, not the top. But that's secondary to prosperity, I guess.
Yeah, we're not doing too bad.
We're doing kind of bad with some of our human rights.
we're doing pretty bad.
Yeah, we're regressing very quickly. Arizona made all abortions fully illegal by upholding an 1860s law in their Supreme Court. So like it has to go. Yeah, it has to go to the Supreme Court of the United States now before it can be re-ruled on, and that's unlikely because there are conservative seats.
Oof. Yeah. You know what's weird too? I was in this group. It's basically like a community action group. It's the one I went to the protest with.
Oh, cool.
And it was and we were online. And apparently, someone typed this big thing. Apparently, within that another group that was like ours, there's a person who I'd seen on TikTok a lot that like is a pretty prominent member of that other big group. Apparently, they were part of another group, actually an alt-right group.
There's so many groups.
Yeah. Well, no. So this person, they were called Gender Ender, I think was like their name online. But they were actually part of a very alt-right group, and we're going through and like doxing people, and
Oh, wow.
they were like basically like some wolf in sheep clothing bullshit. So it was pretty scary. It's not everybody's all freaked out, which I mean I get. I'm like.
So it was a right-wing person who was going into left-wing groups and being like, I figured out who all the gay people are. Now you're getting doxxed.
Yeah, exactly. And then so it was a pretty worrisome. So I guess they're So it's like
that's fucked up.
I'm like, dude, I'm like, well, just do the same thing to them. Go get a red hat. Go on to the fucking group. But
that's the thing, though. The left is not as aggressive. Sure. Right? We don't want to cause harm. Right? That's the part of the ideological difference, is that the left decides that causing physical harm or emotional harm is equally bad, whereas the right says, I'll cause you harm if I want to.
Have you ever seen the movie Serenity?
Serenity? I love Serenity. Yeah.
Okay. You remember the speech the guy gives? The main bad guy,
the black guy, like, I'm building a world of peace, but I won't belong there.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the kind of guy I think you gotta be, or you gotta need. Is he's like, I'm the wolf. I'm not. I'm
not here to live with the sheep. I'm here to protect the sheep. I'm here to build their little pasture and be fine with it, and I'll stay out here.
Who is that? What does that say? I heard, what movie is that? You don't send a sheep to fight a wolf. You send the wolfhounds. I can't remember where that's from, but it's the same thing. It's like I'm not meant to live with you guys.
Yeah,
I am meant to kill people that would attack you, though.
Yeah, no,
that's my place.
That's the Marine Corps. No, we're a little different. No, I fully agree. There's a lot of violence in the world, and there's a lot of violence coming. I sincerely hope that humanity's compassion and compatibility with each other wins out, and that, we don't go into a total war. I just doubt it.
Yeah. I doubt it as well, the way things are going right now. It's so much hostility. I don't think we've seen this kind of hostility. I mean, it's in my lifetime, the amount of people squaring up right now.
The effects, like the BRICS, right? The BRICS nations that were trying to set up their own U.S. currency, their own like base dollar. That is probably the biggest action against Western ideology I've ever seen. Like throughout our history books, that type of stuff is probably the biggest concerted effort. Too bad it's not working great right now, just because the CIA is doing what CIA does. And
the CIA.
When you're the nation that built and started all of the electronics and then shipped out everybody's servers to them, and then 10 years later went, oh, whoops, I guess we put tracking stuff in all of it. Yeah, I mean, the information war is pretty solid on the US.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of feels kind of good to be within the empire, honestly. When shit like that happens, I'm like, oh, thank God, our guys. I mean, yeah, they'll kill us too, but not as much as they.
I'll be cautious about the as much. We'll see what happens in the next couple years. We have we have a strong capability for a totalitarian takeover here. Trump has shown that there is a strong desire for authoritarianism, right?
Which is strange. Well, I don't. We're so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. People forget, like, it's like the thing with them trying to take away all these laws and stuff right now, for like child labor laws and stuff like that. What do they say? Not policy is written in blood, because things you do well because it sucked really, really bad. And somebody, I can't imagine the people in like from the 1940s coming back and saying us try to put children back to work. And like, dude, you know how much?
What do you mean you want the children back in the slaughterhouses?
We fought so fucking hard. We got shot at to get the children out of the slaughterhouse, and you're like, put them back in. But they're being lazy. Back
they
in
got
the
little
old days,
hands. They can reach into all the machinery. It's great.
That's the thing is, all these alt-right people are like, in the old days, we had, it's like, in the old days, they were trying to get those things to stop because they sucked. Like, dude.
It absolutely fascinates me. The people who are like, it was bad for me, so it should be bad for you. That thought process blows my mind.
Most selfish fucking people. You should always want, like, if that's like running into a door and stepping on glass and knowing the person behind you is like not warning, the guy behind you. You know what? I stepped on glass.
It's like going through, right, stepping on the glass, going, my feet are bleeding, and then looking at the person who has boots and going, you need to take those boots off.
What?
Because I walked over without boots, so you got to too. Yeah, we're actively taking the protections away. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. I don't know. You just kind of hope things will be okay.
Of course, it'll be okay until it's not, but that'll be okay too.
I think this TikTok ban, I don't know. I wish I knew more about technology to have a good opinion on it. Because I don't know if, like, it actually is, like, the government, like, because our government can be really evil, but our government is also very reliable in some sense. They do give out lots of money, like, as far as, like, grant money and stuff like that to make sure, more communities are involved and to help children, things like that. So there are good people working within the government. And so my wonder is this TikTok thing, is it a ban because legit they do believe something is wrong, like it's legit a security issue? Because it would be. I mean, if you think about it, if there was a legit security issue that was like a foreign country could fuck with us, the amount of people that use TikTok, they'd be like, hey, this is an emergency. We need to get rid of this now. But it's also the possibility that they just.
I will say that TikTok is a Singaporean company, right? And it does have a lot of servers based in China. The thing is with China and their data network capabilities and their propaganda capabilities are extremely strong. They might be equal to the US. They're not, but they could be. And the ability to do subconscious propaganda against the US government is kind of easy because all you have to really do is tell the truth enough in a row and in a specific way, and it can turn people against the US government very fast.
Yeah. And that's the thing is we don't even know, like, if it's happening to us.
Propaganda? It's absolutely happening to you.
Well, yeah, we know propaganda is happening. We don't know, like I don't think anybody is like conscious of how much they're being affected by things.
Oh yeah, I mean? That's for sure.
I think I'm right, and I'm like, maybe I'm fucking an idiot though. You know what I mean?
I have training, specific training to recognize propagandas. It's hard. It's extremely hard to recognize actual propaganda and how they're implementing it. And propaganda is most effective on consistency and with repetition, right? So the more often you see something and the closer it is to you, the more likely you are to believe it. And TikTok with its short form content, Even if you only get the first 4 seconds and it has just the image that it needs in there, and then you swipe on because you're like, that didn't interest me. And you swipe on that same type of message 9, 10, 100 times, it's in there. You're not getting it out.
Yeah.
And it takes dedicated thought, action, and resilience to be able to counter that. And most people don't want to. They use TikTok to relax.
Yeah, and it's just a shitty system.
It is.
Yeah, because I want to trust our government, but at the same time, though, a lot of these company protests and stuff, the things that we've actually been able to make change. We made Starbucks through TikTok. They made Starbucks come to the table with a union for the first time ever. Because of it was, and so that
that's a win. They did shitty things about that union, but I mean, it was still a win that they talked.
They did. I mean, but then like Kellogg is losing a bunch of their.
Kellogg is still falling. That's wild.
Kellogg, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, all these big companies that were doing shitty things, supporting Israel, things like that. They're feeling the burn now, and I think that is a more than enough reason for them to ban TikTok.
Yep, 100%.
Because we've never had we've had social media apps, but we've never had one that is such a uniting force.
The ability for community action is too high for the U.S. government to be happy with. When the Black Panthers were first recognized as a terrorist group, was because they were feeding children. They were feeding children who weren't getting fed at school, and they were providing a safe area for children to learn and build community. That is when they were put on the watch list.
Yep. I mean, it's with all of those leaders back in the day. I mean, the Black Panther Party, Leonard Peltier and Martin Luther King, all these guys were taking out their leadership and making them look like things they weren't,
Yep.
Leonard Peltier is still in prison to this day when he was somewhere he couldn't even have been there at the time.
He's been proven innocent, and they went, oh well.
Yeah. Like, we'll keep him. Like, fuck, man, it's over now. He's like 80. Let him out, But I mean, it was with him, a lot of those leaders in those things, which is scary because they just basically took him, killed him, put him in prison, said, all right, that's enough of that. Cut it out.
Stop it. Yeah. Well, I mean, in early America was thinking about taking all of Mexico and then taking all of the islands in the Gulf of Mexico all the way out to Cuba and Haiti. And the only reason they didn't was because a couple senators said that's too many people of color. So we would have our demographic would be not white. So we're not doing that. That's the only reason we didn't take all the way down to Panama, basically.
Good old American racism.
Isn't that fucking crazy, though?
It's bonkers. Like, have you seen what's happening in Mexico with Americans going over?
Oh, yeah. Mexico started to deport Americans.
Yeah, well, because they're going over there and they're trying to gentrify areas. Like, there's a big thing with a bunch of these. There's a specific area in Mexico right now that kind of started it. It actually started another thing on TikTok. These guys are going over, these rich people buying houses by this, and they're trying to do the same thing in America, where they buy all these houses surrounding a good body of water, and we're trying to basically, I don't
monopolize.
I don't own that land, but I own land to get to it. And they're trying to change a bunch of stuff, like, oh, your music's too loud here. We want you playing your music. And then the people in town were like, no, we were here way before you were. And then the Mexican president was like, yeah, let's get these guys out of our fucking country. You're coming here and changing our things. You guys are refugees because you can't afford shit in America.
These are our things, not your things. You can't just change our things to your things to be happy. That's fucking dumb.
Yeah. I know, because we suck as Americans. Not all of us, but a lot of us. Good thing one day we'll be millionaires, though, right?
Hopefully. I mean, my house is fucking too expensive, so... Isn't it crazy that a 3-bedroom in Oregon is like $300,000? That feels crazy to say.
It's mind-boggling. I told you I was looking at houses. It's around 320 to 350. That's what I'm looking at. If I want like a house, like the house I would want, like a minimum, would be something like yours.
And I think I
If I
got
was
a
going
great deal on it, which feels
yeah,
stupid to say.
yeah, no, you did, yeah. I don't see the point of buying a house. Like, I guess there's a point, but I wouldn't want to move from renting into buying if I was going to buy something nicer that could stick for a while, you know.
Right.
And it's not feasible. It's getting more and more. Unless I get my boss's job here really soon, then it's like, all right,
Well, interest rates are like 8.5 right now, right, for houses.
it's fucking gross.
Which an 8.5% interest rate on a like $200,000 house, you'd be paying the same amount of money on mortgage as you would for like a $300,000 house at like 5%. So you just have to. You're just getting so much less for what you're buying with a higher interest rate.
Yeah, and it's just not worth it. Like I don't want to like buy a house and then like I don't mind having roommates, but I don't want to like have to have roommates my entire life of my house. You know what I mean? It's like I'll never be able to afford this alone. It's like that bullshit.
Yeah.
Which would suck.
Like me, basically, where I'm like, I need Furnish Finder and Katie, who also pays rent. So
Yeah, exactly, which is bullshit. You shouldn't have to be that way. You know, it's 2,500. 2,500 is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's more than a lot of people make in their like monthly paycheck.
It is. Well, it's crazy. So like, I make about 70 a year now with my
Nice.
travel and stuff like that. And I think my paychecks are what? Like I could probably afford that, but it would be fucking tight.
Yeah.
I pay off my car, that's 70. Like I used to think that was like fucking peak, and now I'm like, that's not that much money. That's not like that's so crazy. Like I need like my boss. I need to get her fucking $100,000 a year job in order to buy a house.
Yeah, the fact that middle America doesn't really start till 6 digits, right?
Yeah.
Like that seems wrong.
I have 2 roommates and I don't have any kids, no pets, and I make probably a lot more than a lot of people, and I don't feel like I'm rich. Like I have enough money to start saving stuff. I can go on some vacations.
Is crazy. Like for a millennial, you can have a savings account.
I know, right? I feel lucky. Yeah, I get to put money away to try to buy a house maybe one day. But yeah, I still need to buy a computer first though.
Yeah.
Before I buy a house. Priorities.
You'll get a good computer. All right, Tony. We had some nice little talks there.
We had some stuff. Yeah. All right, Jonah. Well, you have a good night. I will see you next week sometime.
All right. See you, my friend. I'll try to do some more writing throughout the week. And hopefully finish up this chapter. All right. Bye, Tony.
Bye.
All right. This was a good stream. Flint feeling angry. What a fun way to leave that. All right. To all the people of the future who are watching this, hello. Thanks for being here. We're gonna kind of call it a day here. If you've been enjoying the book, like the like button, comment on the comment section, and follow the follow button. Do all the things you got to do. Beat them up, smack them around, give them a chocolate cake, whatever else you need. This has been Jonah writing with Tony on Nanabozo. Thanks for visiting. Have a good day. Goodbye.